release of the Chronicles Deck, the Fallen The Virtuous All Foil Edition, everyone is trying out their branded combos. Everyone is trying to understand how to best use those branded cards. And in this video, we're going to give you a little more background on some of the cards, even the more basic cards where you think, oh, I already understood those cards. We're going to give you a couple more background stories to fully use their potential. And Leo is going to start off with basically the heart and soul monster of the deck.
Yep, of course, the card. Without it, nothing works in this deck. It's basically material for every fusion monster. Fallen of Albaz, what a card. This card, you basically have the entire deck working around it. Every single card says, search for a card that mentions Fallen of Albaz or something like that, and you need it for basically every branded fusion monster. But of course, this card also has a crazy effect. When it's normal or special summoned, you can discard a card and then fuse, of course, with itself as material and monsters from your opposing side. And let me tell you one thing. You can use this card on the opposing turn. If you summon it out on their turn, there are plenty of opportunities in the deck. So setting up a Call of the Haunted plus Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, that's already a crazy interruption on the opposing turn.
I think people see this card as just their way to resolve branded fusion, but it is so much more than that, because also playing into fields, just having this as a normal summon even, is applying a lot of pressure to your opponent. And especially now with also the new fusion monster, the dragon that devours the dogma, actually it's even more powerful because that one can use 2 monsters from your opponent's side of the field. So this card went up even more in value for the deck. But yeah, you already explained that plenty.
Yeah, but if you are playing versus dragon decks, you have Albaz in your extra deck as well. That just takes away Fallen of Albaz and every dragon monster on the field. So you can just, if you're playing versus Blue Eyes, you can just fuse away everything.
You can. Then of course, the most powerful spell card of the deck, Branded Fusion, the card you always want to resolve. Every combo kind of cycles around it, just trying to get to Branded Fusion, trying to resolve Branded Fusion. And with that card, of course, you're always going to send that Fallen of Albaz and you're going to try to think about the best option to get out of your extra deck, because sometimes on your opening first combo, it will be the standard procedures of just going Albion, going the Ballion, and just trying to summon out Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon as your boss monster. It can be, when you're playing into fields especially, can be a bit more versatile though, because sometimes you want to summon out other fusion monsters. For example, you want to summon out Titanic Lad. Usually you only see Titanic Lad, the Ash Dragon, in the graveyard, but when your opponent has a monster with a lot of attack points, Titanic Lad can actually get a lot of attack points itself to just attack over opponent's big monsters, for example.
If you've ever played versus Lunalight and then they have a Liger Dancer, Lunalight Liger Dancer on the field, which also threatens to destroy everything you have with 3,800 attack points, Titanic Lad is just an easy out to this powerful card. So that is very strong. If you're now thinking, hey, okay, Branded Fusion, incredible card, but I only play 2, in fact, that's not the only one in your deck. You have other cards like Aluber, the Jester of Despia, that just searches out Branded Fusion. But that's also not all that does. If this card is in your graveyard, it also kind of sets up another interruption, or protection rather. If your fusion monsters get destroyed, you can summon it back on the opposing turn and then negate a card from their side of the field. If your opponent summons an access code talker, destroys your fusion monsters and then wants to attack for 5,300 damage, for example, you can just summon back Aluber, the Jester of Despia, and just negate the access code talker. I learned that the hard way.
Aluber really, when it comes out from the graveyard, has been a surprise to many players, so it shouldn't be a surprise to you when there is Aluber around. Be cautious with those fusion monsters that could possibly leave the field. Main way to get to Aluber in the deck is, of course, Branded Opening. And I think everyone, when they see Branded Opening, they think, okay, discard a card, essentially summon out that Aluber, which is the most obvious and the common used way, but there's other monsters that you want to summon out in your combos from time to time with the Branded Opening, because Branded Opening, for example, can also give you access to the Guiding Quem, the Virtuous, and summoning out Quem on top of your already established maybe Branded Fusion combo with the Mirror Jade already in the field is providing you with so much more interruptions. Also, Branded Opening is, of course, providing you with that graveyard protection effect for your fusion monsters as well. So if your opponent activates Raigeki onto your field of a Mirror Jade and more fusion monsters, guess what? Branded Opening is there to protect your field.
And not only that, if your opponent chains a Mulchami Fuwalos to this card because they think you're going to special summon Aluber, the Jester of Despia, from your deck, you can activate the other effect, or you can resolve it in a different way by just adding it to your hand. You don't have to special summon to the field, and then you can just normal summon it and don't